And later in this video, you'll get to meet Lucky and Tiny Tiger. And don't get worried or excited about it. They're close friends. They always have been. It may not look like it the way they're playing, but they are. I'm doing some stone dressing today on a 20-inch Williams mill. And I wanted to show y'all something that I've not seen on a Williams mill before this. It's the arrangement for the bedstone, how the bedstone is fastened in. It's very interesting, and I wanted to share it with you. Now, as you've seen, usually the bedstone is cemented or concreted in the case. But I noticed on this one, before I pulled it apart, there was some bolt heads sticking out on the underside. You can see right here, there's 4 of these bolts in different spots on this mill. And I'd never seen that before, and I was wondering about it. When I pulled it apart, I seen why. So this bedstone has I can't tell if it's it looks like a cast iron case that this bedstone is in, and it's got 4 bolts that go through the case. The bedstone is fastened inside of this cast case with this mortar right here. And evidently those bolts allowed them to adjust or just fasten the bedstone in. One of the two. I don't know. It kind of reminds you of how a Straub Queen of the South is. This is the bedstone on top, and it's in this steel case. And you've got usually 3 bolts on these that hold it in place, but it's kind of the same principle, but it's on a Williams mill. Williams with a square wooden hopper. Very interesting. Just wanted to share it because I've never seen it before. I'd be anxious to hear if anybody else has. And I can't make out the serial number on this particular mill right here. It looks like there was one at one time, but I cannot make it out. But usually that'll date them, but I can't make it out. These bolts on the outside, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the bolts that hold that bedstone in place. It's pretty interesting around here. Right here's a Straub. I visited the farm where this mill lived, I guess, maybe most all of its life. And this fella bought it from those people. And this is your tenor adjustment right here on the bottom that adjusts your stone up and down. Big drive pulley down under here. Something that's really interesting that they've added on this mill, if you can see it, is a wooden pulley right here above the main drive pulley. And what that does, it had a little flat belt that went right over here to that wooden pulley right there. This little wooden pulley right here. And what that done was, when this turned, it would drive this little fan up here. So it would blow a current of air. It was the intake holes right here to the fan. And it would draw a current of air in and blow it over the grain as it was falling out of the shoe down through here. It'd blow a current of air this direction and blow any fine trash or offals out the side over here. And then your spout is right here where the product comes out. Straub Machinery Company, Cincinnati, USA. This is your tenor adjustment knob. It's a pattern for a Straub. It's a decoration they had on them. And what that done, you had your leather crook string right here wrapped around this, and you would turn this to adjust. The leather crook string come up, looped over the frame, come down, and was tied onto the shoe here. When you turn this knob, it pulled or released that string to adjust the end level of that shoe to feed the grain faster or slower. And the shoe, the tail end of the shoe would hang right here on this bracket. And then you got your wooden hopper that sets down in the horse right here. That's it, Straub. Like I said, pretty interesting around here. Here's a little 16-inch Metcalf Mill. Like about a 20-inch old model Metcalf Mill. I'm pretty sure this is a WC Metcalf Mill. They made a cast iron mill that was this style, had a fancy base like this on it. Looks kind of like crown molding on the bottom of the base. Pretty sure that's a WC, or a RC Metcalf Mill. It's Metcalf style, everything except the steel case. Back in the olden days. This is something you might recognize. This little Williams mill used to live at my shop. This is the one that I shown running a while back. Over here's a Williams mill. Another old model Metcalf Mill. Still got the original decal on it here. Old style eccentric. I call this a follower. The steel on the end, or usually some kind of a wire plate of wood or something, be on the end of the arm for the shoe. It'd go down in this groove, and as it turned, it would cause it to shake, which would shake the shoe to feed the grain down into the mill. Old style, probably in the teens, I would say, maybe early 20s. LUC engine, power unit to drive this mill while I dress the stones. Oh, how much I owe you? Well, I'll pay.
Oh, my wife picked you a sandwich.
Oh, really? If you remember back last year, I done a video on a seed cleaner, a Clipper 1B. Well, it was this machine right here. And there was somebody commented on this video yesterday, and they was talking about this wire right here. Now, I pointed this wire out as just helping the grain get started down the screen, but I was wrong on that. What that wire does is it goes inside this hopper right here. And get it in place. Let me see here. I think that's about right. Just like that. And this wire, when the screen shakes, this wire shakes up and down like that, and it feeds the grain out with whatever you've got adjusted on your gap right here. And I can't remember the name of the person that commented and pointed that out, but I just wanted to say I really appreciate you doing that. But that is the feed agitator that feeds the grain down onto the screens out of the hopper. And I appreciate you for making that comment. Anytime somebody's got a comment, I don't claim to know everything, and I don't claim to always be right. And I'm always glad when somebody comments with more input on something. That's helpful to everybody, and I appreciate it.